Then, of course, the last, actually not the last, but the deepest core of all these other three devils are so-called the devil of inflation. That's how Sarah translates. Devil of self-grasping or self-fixation, ego-grasping, all those things. Dualistic discrimination. That's the root of all the rest. So what does she say about this? Said ego fixation is the root of all problems and is the cause of wandering in cyclic existence. It is therefore the devil is that withhold the attainment of freedom. Thus it is called the devil of inflation, or devil of ego fixation. The mind that holds on to a self where there is no self has become afflicted. Then discursive thoughts holds on to any good or bad mental arising and fixation, fixate on it as true existence. That is called inflation. So inflation is like a holding on to something doesn't truly exist as truly exists. So that's why she actually translated kind of inflating. So she's saying the timeless wisdom of reflective awareness, Randik, as non-existent with no true reality. So this freedom from the extremes of all conceptual elaboration or embellishment that causes mental creation and mental aspiration. So this is the root of the samsara and the root of all the gods and demons. Then what does she suggest in terms of antidote? Can you kind of guess what to do about that? What if you are Machiko or somebody, how would you answer? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Then how to cut through is the method, right? Skillful means. And what she say about this in terms of here, this context. Ephemeral, dispossessed of mental designations, mind free and easy, fixation on I, annihilated, pristine, incapable of disturbance by emotional condition, clear, conscious, free of outer and inner dualities, transparent, awareness, free of attachment to anything. So I think she's suggesting basically same kind, this cut through, but then in the West, I think really we have to relax. That's the first step. We really have to, even before we are talking about the cut through ego grasping, we really have to let go, kind of rest, have to know how to rest by relaxing and perhaps relaxing into the body and fully embody, kind of inhabit the body, or subtle body, and then slowly remain, find how to rest in this ephemeral mind, free of ease, pristine, clear, transparent awareness. So in our Tibetan yoga class, I talked a little bit about the concept versus direct experience. Anyway, so I think very important to differentiate. We don't want to slap the concept about, for example, here you said ephemeral, mind free of ease, pristine, clear, transparent awareness slap onto your direct experience. If your experience here, your reality, inner reality here, then this kind of statement and concept there. We can use this terminology as a kind of triggering your internal experience, then that's great. But if that's not your experience, I don't want to you to slap this kind of concept word onto your experience, because sometimes we are very contracted. I feel sometimes. So then we kind of put all these beautiful idea onto our direct experience. I think more what she's saying here is that to whatever arises, without judgment, and learn how to rest in that. It's Mahamudra pointing out instruction that like you find in the middle of the whatever arises, find this kind of vast awareness, unbounded. Okay, so that's a very brief explanation here, Matrix. Any questions or observation or your experience? So this has to be very experiential, I think. Yeah. So I think we are doing, I hope we are doing a good job on that. We don't leave our discussion just at a concept level. How am I feeling right now? How does this apply? How does this translate into my life? That's way more important than learning all this concept, in my opinion. So how are you? What's your experience? Yeah, this awareness we developing or we started to connect with, although it's always there, but somehow we are kind of rediscovering or reconnecting with this awareness. It's like a really makes the whole path to awakening easier. No? Relief. Make whole this loving, compassionate awareness. Make entire path joyful. Like a healing sap. You have when you have like some kind of injury or something like that, heal the sap. Like awareness heals everything. That's compassionate loving. I know that one very well. Thank you.